ETM Christeson. Raise your hand if you've heard of the Toastmasters International Convention. I'm going to keep watching your hand until it goes up. I know you have, John. Thank you. Most of the room, but not everybody. So I'll start off telling you a little bit about it so that you know what I'm going to be speaking about today. The Toastmasters International Convention is an annual event held by Toastmasters International to bring people from around the world together for a number of purposes. First, the annual business meeting to vote on issues, to bring in new directors for the board, to vote on a new president, and to take care of any type of business that needs to be done at the international level. Also, to provide high-quality education sessions for district officers. As Darryl mentioned, I'm Lieutenant Governor of Marketing. I don't actually like the legal word. I'd rather just be the LGM. That really sounds odd. So, but Lieutenant Governor of Marketing is the actual title. And also, of course, to have the World Championship of Public Speaking Contest, which is held annually at that event. Our new president is Gary Schmidt. Some of you may know that, or you may not. His picture will be in next month's magazine with his monthly message in our Toastmasters magazine. And his theme for this year is Toastmasters, Confidence, Leadership, and Service. So what I wanted to do was talk a little bit about the convention from the point of view of those three themes. The first one was confidence. It just blew me away at how you can be in a room full of strangers, over 1,000 people, and they will just walk up to you and introduce themselves. And, hi, I'm Rob Christeson from Kansas, or whatever their particular story was, because it wasn't me going out doing it. Coming to me and introducing themselves and telling me who they were, where they were from, and, oh, you're Lieutenant Governor of Marketing, how do you like it? And next thing you know, 20 minutes of your life, and you've met a new person and made another friend. But it's just amazing how confident Toastmasters can be in that type of environment. They all had some very interesting stories. I met a lot of other lieutenant governors of marketing, a lot of district governors, some contestants, and I'll talk about that more in a minute. The second theme, leadership, was very well placed in the speakers that we had. We had some really great keynote speakers. The first one at the opening ceremony on Wednesday night was Sam Silverstein. If you don't know who he was the recent president of the National Speakers Association, which is a group in the U.S. that is for professional speakers, paid professional speakers. You have to give 25 paid speeches or a few other criteria in order to join that group. So it's a group of professional speakers. He gave a great speech titled No More Excuses. And for all these folks, they're always based on their book that was either coming out or just come out. And it was really a great speech about personal accountability as a leader, not only of yourself, but of others as well. The Golden Gavel recipient, Bruce Tolkien, which is a name I had not heard of before this, is another speaker on leadership. He's done about 15 years of research on Gen X and Gen Y employees and working with folks in those age groups. And he gave a keynote titled, It's Okay to Be the Boss, talking about ways to handle Gen X and Gen Y employees that are a little bit different than baby boomers might expect from what they've dealt with before. And that's his target audience. Normally he's talking to folks in that age group. Finally, on the last day, we had someone named Fran Capo, and she told us, dare to do it, accomplish your dreams with humor, creativity, and passion. First off, the New York accent gets people every time. She was a very amusing speaker. She happens to be the current Guinness Book of World Record holder as the fastest talking female, or the fastest talking person, one of the two, on the earth. Recorded at 603 words a minute. And actual words, not just blah, 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 but apparently discernible words. And she made some jokes about winning arguments with her husband all the time and a few other things like that. She talked about just getting out there and doing it. She talked about some of her adventures. She mentioned an issue one time when her son was in 3rd grade and was given an assignment to write a book report, and the teacher said, tell me what the author thought when he wrote this. So she turned and said, how are you going to know that? Well, let's call him. So they called the author,
there you go.
Did an interview on the phone and turned that in. The teacher said, no one's ever done that before. She read somewhere that the manatees were going extinct, and she told her son, we have to go see the manatees. And they went off and did that swim with the manatees thing you can go do, apparently. And she also mentioned a time when she was trying to become a professional speaker, and someone said, well, you need to have a book. So I wrote a book. And she did it in like just a few weeks, apparently, and put out her first book. she had a few of them there for sale, and there was one on adventures, had her showing her skydiving, and she took her son skydiving, among other things. So I bought that one and had her sign it to my son and my wife, since they like to do adventures as well. So I really enjoyed those speakers and their aspects on leadership. Finally, service. I had the opportunity to meet and work with people from TI headquarters in California, from the world headquarters, and they were stationed throughout the place. I worked as a volunteer at the registration desk for half a day and got to meet a few of those people, and I found out that all those phone calls, those voices, they have faces, and they're actually some pretty cool people, and they're really there to help. And I thought that was really a neat thing to do, to meet some of the people that I had never had the opportunity to meet before. But those are my thoughts on the theme, as I mentioned from Gary Schmidt. I would want to mention one other thing on the International Speech Contest. I had a really great opportunity. For the first couple of days, I went to what they call a champ camp. It was a get paid to speak by next week seminar. I had to pay for out of pocket, with 3 world champs from 99, 2000, 2001. And these guys, as I mentioned earlier about Ed Tate, are just fantastic speakers. It's amazing. But since I was able to get to know them, I had a really good opportunity to meet some of the other contestants as well. I actually heard one of the speakers practice her speech a few days in advance for the world contest. I actually had dinner with the person who won, or excuse me, who finished as the first runner-up, Mary. I forget her last name now, but she was very nice, her and her husband. So I got to meet a lot of people, and I actually used one of those little devices, the flip right there, to film 3 of the world champions, Ed Tate, Darren LaCroix, and Jim Key, some of you may have remembered from Kansas City conference last year, give an hour-long talk about their experience in a world championship. And it was those 3 guys sitting on the stage, me filming him, and one of their wives taking some photos. We were the only people in the whole room. So it's a pretty rare opportunity to be able to hear that for an hour, and I even got to ask a few questions myself. The video's not posted yet. I know Darren's going to be putting it out there pretty soon. So I'll let you know what the site is so you can see it, but it was a fantastic opportunity. So I took every chance, everything I could do to immerse myself in that opportunity and improve my confidence, learn from leadership and from service as well. I had a really great time at the convention. I could give 20 5- to 7-minute speeches and not tell you all about it, but I hope that I've given you at least a little piece of what it was like to attend one of these. And next year, I recommend you think very hard about going to Palm Desert, California for that convention. Mr. Toastmaster.
Write that down, Palm Desert, California. We are like